Jihad, welcome to the Potter Buchanan show. How are you?
Appreciate you having me, man. I'm doing excellent.
Yeah, it's good to see you again. It's been a minute since Oracle, huh?
Has been a little minute. Has been a very
Yeah.
long time.
Yeah. So I think at some point I'll probably interview everyone I worked with, but you were definitely on the list of people. I think I've watched I think you posted it once, but the Bryant kind of beast mode tight end highlight where you're taking everyone out. I mean, just epic. But we'll get into that. Um, well, I want to get your live reaction on it, but we were at Oracle together. You worked there for like a year, year and change, and then went
Yep.
over to recruiting. Tell me a little bit about like getting into Oracle, kind of how that went, what you were thinking of doing out of college, how you ended up there, and then making the move over to recruiting.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Well, so we'll get into it, a little later, just about the whole football career and everything.
Yeah,
But plain terms, Oracle was kind of a move right after I was kind of concluding my MBA program. So I was trying to find out, as a football player, what my direction is, kind of where I wanted to go in life with everything. And I knew sales was, um, direction that I wanted to go in. I used to work with a professor. Her name is Stephanie Boy over at Bryant University. She hosts like a sales program and everything over there. And I was able to create just some confidence. I knew my personality. I was the type of guy that could talk to a brick wall. I like to say a lot
yeah,
of times. So Oracle was one of those opportunities I saw on LinkedIn. And I kind of just gravitated towards it. Reputable name, great company. A lot of people over there I knew kind of, succeeded in life through different avenues, whatever that kind of looked like. So yeah, just applied. I applied on LinkedIn while I was doing my MBA program. Was kind of going to conclude. I'm originally from Jersey, so didn't want to go back there. So I was like, yeah, this seems like a right move to make. Reputable company, kind of, great place to kind of start the developmental process career wise. So, I just took the shot, got the interview, smashed the role plays or whatever we kind of did back then, and
yeah.
just never looked back from there.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great place to start. Like, if you're gonna get into sales, like, it's a great breeding ground for that.
Absolutely.
I love managing the young SDRs, right? Like, hungry coming out of school, ready to get after it. Um, so you were there just over a year. What made you make the move over to the recruiting side? I think that's a good fit for you, but how did that come about?
I think when it comes down to it, sales is very different in a lot of different perspectives and aspects and things of that nature. I think what gravitated me towards the recruiting field was, personally just the people aspect of it. I think we get into sales, it's always, you're selling a product or you're selling some source of a product where it's, features, benefits, all that good stuff. I think when it comes down to recruiting, our product is, people. So
Yeah.
I'm never going into a day where it's
Oh, I
it's the
lost you there for a
same kind
second.
of structure. A lot of what we do is different perspectives, talking to different people day in and day out. So I found that to be very interesting. I found it to be something that I could gravitate towards, and also I could add value towards at the end of the day. Whether that was personally for me or professionally, I think it's an aspect of changing lives in a sense. People are looking for different jobs, or people might not be in jobs, or they might hit crossroads where they're wanting to get into something different. And I come in as that resource to kind of bridge that connection between clients and candidates, and change a life at the end of the day. So I think the overall aspect of it kind of led me to that. But recruiting is in the space that I'm working in right now is a great kind of field. It's a great industry that I'm working in, which is construction now, but it allows you to kind of learn, kind of think on your feet. Um, every day is not the same. You're dealing with people, so it's a different perspective and definitely something that I enjoy at this point now.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of funny. I had a similar transition from tech. I'm working, doing sales for HVAC now. So I saw that kind of
Yeah,
listed under Michael Page as well. It looks like you guys recruit a little bit in that space too.
absolutely.
Yeah. So what are you seeing in the market? I know it's tough out there, like a lot of people looking for jobs. What are some of the stuff you're seeing?
Honestly, if we look at the market right now, it's very much of a candidate short market. So there's a lot of jobs out there, or there's a lot of projects out there that people or companies are starting to, undergo or, starting to build on. There's a lot of people out there that, we're looking for the perfect candidate at the end of the day. We're looking for the perfect person, somebody that fits the bill, all these candidates or all these clients. We're looking for, what they're specifically like the culture base, professionally experience, all that good stuff. And we're looking for the perfect person at the end of the day. So I think when it comes down to it, the market is very candidate short because there's not a lot of people out there in construction or in the trades, all that good stuff that kind of fit the
Yeah.
bill for what the clients are looking for. So it's very much a challenging, aspect of the day. But from the market right now, we're looking at, clients wanting to build and do a lot of things within the Boston area or the New England area specifically. Just not a lot of candidates out there. So it's a lot of, cold calling, still getting on the phones, using LinkedIn, all that good stuff to kind of find these people.
Yeah.
But it's a challenge at the end of the day, man. I can't even lie to you. It's a challenge, but it's also an opportunity to kind of get to know a lot of different people, a lot of different experiences, backgrounds, all that good stuff, and kind of, match make at the end of the day, which we like to call it. Um, and kind of, find what's right for the person at the end of the day, whether that's, money wise or it's culture, all that good stuff. We're finding needs and we're expanding off of that and trying to find, the right fit for a lot of people.
Yeah. How has been learning the construction space? Has that been a
Very
lot
interesting.
different? Obviously, it's
Yeah,
different than
a
tech, but
lot different.
yeah.
I mean, we talk about
Yeah.
at Oracle, it was all, database, technology, AI, all that good stuff. But I feel like construction is a very, very different, just like outlook in industry in that sense. Learning the construction industry has been very interesting. And you know, you kind of see in everyday life that, if it's technology or if it's construction, there's certain things that kind of combine within that space that you see in everyday life. So I'm learning the industry from the company itself, but I'm also learning the industry from, my roommate who works in general contracting. I think he does like modular homes, so like custom homes, all that good stuff. So I'm learning from
Nice.
him. I'm learning from the company itself, and I'm also learning from the people that I see every day, kind of walking around within the field, whether they have their hard hats on or whether they're doing a little different something. But it's really just like every day kind of learning and living it in a sense, which, I find to be very valuable at the end of the day. Because if we're gonna, if we're gonna do this and see this every day, I might as well become an expert at it, right? So
Yeah. Yeah, I'm in the same spot, learning it from the ground up. I didn't know what a vacuum pump was or, what high side, low side on a, HVAC system was, but
yep.
it's all new to me, but I'm just trying to get up to speed as quickly as possible. Are you go so will you go to a project that you have to recruit for, and then you're trying to bring in like like a GM to the project, or how does it work?
So our process is typically most of the time, or more now than ever, we're trying to get out to certain clients and kind of see their process, kind of get a feel for their culture, their company, all that good stuff, because that only helps us at the end of the day kind of convey or sell the business to a certain candidate at the end of the day. Because you think about it, we were all in that space at one point and one time where we were trying to find a job and we wanted to, find the right culture fit. We wanted to find the right money. We wanted to find the right people, all that good stuff. So, typically, we'll go to, certain clients, kind of get a sense of, their environment, kind of what they're working in, and, identify their needs, identify, what they're hiring for, what their, the projects are coming up, all that good stuff. I will say personally, for me, I'm more on the candidate side right now. So the BD focus
Yep.
or the client focus, will come in the future. And right now I'm just, worrying about or, focus on helping people, personally at the end of the day. But, we outsource and do a whole bunch of different things on the candidate side to kind of, get the full encompass of, what you're looking for, the company itself, kind of, like I said before, kind of make that match, with the candidate and the client at the end of the day.
Yeah. What's the cold call looking like? How many you cranking out a day?
Do you know what it is? So Oracle was actually one of those things that kind of, allowed me to kind of cultivate a certain mindset because all we were, or a lot of what we were, was volume, 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 right? So it's like pick
Yeah.
up the phone, smile, and dial. Let's get the calls out because at the end of the day, you can send emails, you can send LinkedIn messages, but when you get on the phone with somebody, that's probably the best, kind of communication that you're going to have at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to just gain volume, do what I was doing before, talk to a bunch of people through our, system that we have, whether that's LinkedIn, Recruiter, all that good stuff, and just, cultivate relationships. At the end of the day, I know a lot of people that have worked with the company before, who have some type of experience with Recruiter. So, trying to bridge that gap. Um, try to find out, what's going good, what's not going good at a certain company that you're at. And try to find a way to kind of make yeah, the candidate's life a little better at the end of the day, whether it's going good or it's going bad. There's always that opportunity out there that, could be a little better, whether it's closer to home, whether you're making more
Yeah.
money, whether you're, having more family time, all that good stuff. So, I think there's needs out there. You just gotta, pull them out in a certain sense, or just ask questions around it. But, we're finding, a lot of, different things for, what candidates want, what they need, what they're looking for, all that good stuff. So,
Yeah. Yeah, cold calling is the only spot like email, LinkedIn, you get a no, you're dead in the water. If
yeah,
you actually speak to someone, you can sort of turn it around or get uncover a need that they didn't know was there. It's the only way you can do it, really.
absolutely.
Um, all right, let's dive into it. Let's get to the meat of it. So, you did you get recruited out of high school for Bryant, or how did that work? How did you wind up there?
Yeah, so I was getting recruited for a multitude of kind of different things. So I played two positions in high school. So I was a tight end and defensive end. So I was getting recruited for defensive end for some schools. I think that now that I look back on life, on the defensive side of things, I probably would have taken that route, but I don't regret anything. I think my experience at Bryant allowed me to kind of see a bunch of different things, do a bunch of different things. And at the end of the day, I played tight end over there, so I wanted to score touchdowns. I wanted to run over people at the
Yeah.
end of the day. But yes, I was recruited from Bryant out of high school. They were my first offer out of high school during my junior year. Um, excuse me, a guy named Marquise Watson, who went on to coach at Rutgers. He went on to coach at Ole Miss, all that good stuff. Recruited me out of high school with the full coach staff that was over there. But he came down to Englewood, New Jersey, where I'm originally from. And he was like, dude, like at the end of the day, we want you. But you have a choice. I would love to have you on defense, but you have an offer to kind of come in that tight end as well. So I think the power of choice at that time as an 18, 17-year-old in high school, I was doing my, schoolwork, all that good stuff, was something that I kind of gravitated towards. Like they love me as a person, they love me as a player. And they're kind of giving me that power of choice at the end of the day. So they offered me my junior year. They were my first offer. Went to, visit the school maybe my senior year, something like that. Fell in love with the tightness of the community, the small school, private school environment. And just kind of ran with that day. And I'm glad I made that decision because I was able to meet a lot of people. I was able to see a lot of different things from a business aspect that I wasn't seeing in Englewood, New Jersey. So kind of gave me a full scope of, the East Coast, traveling, doing games, all that good stuff, representing the team on and going to, the players' media days and all that good stuff. So able to kind of hold a leadership role, but also see a bunch of different things at Brian, which I'm very grateful for.
I lost you kind of. You chose Bryant first school to recruit you, wanted you to play tight end. There was never any Travis Hunter type offer, play both sides of the ball.
No, I feel like at that time it wasn't, it could have been an opportunity, honestly, and now that I look back at it, but no, we were definitely, one side or the other at that point. I don't think we were really doing both sides of the ball. I think Jabril Peppers, who's from New Jersey as well, that played at Michigan, was the only guy at that time, from my knowledge at that point, that was really shining, playing both sides. But no, Brian was like, "It's just either this or that."
Yeah, yeah. Charles Woodson did it a bit at Michigan, or am I making that?
Absolutely, absolutely,
Yeah,
another notable name.
yeah.
Completely.
Yeah, but I mean, I think you chose the right side. I mean, you chose the glory and you caught touchdowns. So like they can't take that away from you.
Mm-mm, mm-mm. The name is forever Sketch.
Yeah, for sure. So you had some BC. I mean, 20 your senior year, you had 25 catches, 275 yards, 5 tutties. That's a good year.
Yeah, yeah. I
were
think
you an
at
all
that year as well, I was, what, top 13, or I was number 13 in terms of, top tight ends in FCS football.
wow.
Yeah.
Who are the other names that year?
There
Who
was a
was the
kid, I can't remember his name right now, but there was a kid from Sacramento State that was maybe number 1. I think he's in the NFL now. I can't remember his name though. But there was a kid from Sacramento State. There was a kid from Harvard at the time that was maybe like 12 or 11.
Yeah.
That was a tight end fullback that was up there. But there was a bunch of kids that were notable. I remember Pat McElroy. I think he plays for the Las Vegas Raiders now. That's in the NFL, as well as another kid from Merrimack. Those 2 guys were from Merrimack, but they were all both on the list as well. So a bunch of notable names within FCS. I hate, when people try to differentiate the 2 between FBS and FCS. Like, yes, we know, the status is there, the money is there, all that good stuff, but there's a lot of notable and good players that come from FCS football, which I was able and fortunate to kind of play against, learn from, study film, all that good stuff. So
Yeah, I mean, peop I am in no position to shit on the FCS. I'm very slow, very short, and I cannot jump, so I didn't get close to, uh, anywhere, anytime. I mean, I quit football after Pop Warner because I was a lineman, and 5'6" is not gonna get it done.
it's not ideal.
No, no. I mean, I played, my whole childhood up until Pop Warner, and then, like, I just saw the kids who would play and then just sit on the sidelines and get in for the one Thanksgiving play, and I'm like in hindsight, I even think, like, maybe I should have done that camaraderie and all that, but I'm just like, it seems like a giant waste of time. Like, I'm not gonna actually play. I don't know. So, were you a complete player? Did you block as well?
I was a blocking tight end, I was a catching tight end. I mean, we had, formations and kinda plays for me to kinda, show that. But, I think there was a Los Angeles Chargers tight end, that kinda, said it, I think today or a couple days ago. He essentially was like, 3rd and 3, we're running the ball. The
Yeah.
defense knows you're running the ball. Your wife knows you're running the ball, and their wife knows you're running the ball, and that's the best feeling in the world when you get a first down. So I was blocking, I was slicing, I was doing everything, whatever it kind of took to, find some success for the team within the running game, within the pass game. I was that guy to kind of, get things done. So definitely took some pride in that.
Yeah, I saw that. It was Charlie Kohler. Yeah, they're
Yep.
getting a lot of tight ends over there. They got Njoku and Gadsden and him. That's a tight end room. I love
It's the John
dude.
Harbaugh offense. You got to run the
Yeah,
ball. You got to establish the run before we start opening it up. And,
yeah,
that's the type of program, or that's the type of structure that I wanted to fit inside.
yeah. Who do you compare your game to for an NFL guy?
You know what? I played fullback and tight end for a long time, and my goats or my idols at the time. I'm a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, so absolutely like Heath Miller, Hines Ward, and like the receiver type of position. But top one or the end all be all. Who I always looked at and studied their film was Shannon Sharp. I think
Yeah,
he just plays with a certain intensity, and just the way he went about the game was just amazing to me. And then I look at him now, doing podcasts just as this and going on shows and all that stuff, and he still has that same type of drive, that same type of fire. So I tried to emulate myself, professionally and personality wise after Shannon Sharp. And I would say he was my like top goat.
yeah. Shannon Sharp was one of the greats. I mean, Uncle Shannon. He's doing his podcast is hilarious. I don't know. Did you?
Unk is the man.
Yeah. I
Unk
don't,
is the
did you
man.
see? Probably don't want to go too deep into this because we both have profession. Did you see the interview with Ray J? No, that was that Unc or was that somebody else? It was.
Shannon
It
Sharp,
was.
no, he did have a he did have an
No, that was
interview with
Cam.
Ray.
That was Cam who did it. That was one of the most preposterous things I've ever seen. But his stuff is great. His stuff with Ocho Cinco is excellent. Uh, Shout out Shannon Sharp. That's I'm in the same space as him. Me and him are peers, dude.
Yep,
So you
he's a
two are
goat
tight
though.
ends.
He's a goat.
You are like former tight ends. We are both podcasters. I'm literally me and Shannon.
It works.
Shouts out Shannon Sharp. Yeah.
Shouts
Uh,
out Unk, man.
yeah. I think for like GOAT status tight end, you got Gronk. I always think Gonzalez gets disrespected because he did it for so long and he just caught 100 balls every
Absolutely.
single year. I love Tony G.
Mhm.
So all right, let's get let's get to this. I wanna share this with the people. Your own Beastquake moment, dude. I love this
Let's
play
see
right
this.
here. All right. So
Oh
who was your
man.
Q who was your QB at the time?
This was Gage Maloney right here. So he was a transfer that came to us from James Madison, I believe. And we also had Zevi Eckhouse, who played at Bryant for a couple of years and then went to Washington State and did some great things over there. But this was Gage Maloney right here, lefty thrower. So a little bit of a different ball. But he was the man. Like honestly, when it comes down to, the understanding of the game, how we go about things, preparation, him and Zevi kind of, instilled in us to kind of, give everything kind of 100%, whether that's a play and everything, kind of sell it out and all that good stuff. So this is Gage right here, my guy.
Gage Malone, and then what was the other gentleman's name? Zeffy? What was the other
Gage,
guy?
yep, Gage Maloney was the first one that came from JMU, and the other guy was Zevi Eckhouse. He was
Dude,
at Bryant for a little minute, and then he went to Washington State.
those are all-time QB names. You played with, like those are excellent quarterback names.
I played with
Uh,
guys. I played with
yeah,
guys.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, the lefty, so it's like kinda little Mark Brunell delivery, so we'll get into it here. Little play action.
Two 18 left to play.
I love
Maloney,
it.
middle of the field, caught. This could be six. What a hit's delivered. Still fighting to get in the end zone.
And then just
That's a
pumped up.
touchdown. Jihad
Yep.
Edmond lowering the boom. 15-0 Bulldogs.
Boom.
Coming from the right side of the screen, just settling down in the middle of the zone. Then watch this.
So what are you
Lowering
doing?
the
You knew his zone
delivering the
defense?
blow,
He's just sitting in the
safety and
middle?
fighting his shoulder
Yeah, I knew it was zone defense,
into the end zone.
just like based off of the
Fantastic
formation.
Edmond.
But essentially, what we're supposed to do is kind of, fake the
What
block a
an
little bit,
effort.
and settle in the pocket. If
The question is,
that
did he get
linebacker
in
keeps on shooting
more
out,
progress or
we
Yeah.
just settle in that open space, and kind of just take it up from there.
Oh, that was beautiful. How was that your favorite play of college? I saw you had a 40-yarder too.
Yeah, we
A
had a 40-yard
40-yard tou
against Brown, but I think this has to be, this has to be
yeah,
my favorite play in college. We were in FIU. I never played in Florida before, and just to have an impact like that at the time that it was with my family watching, and we had a whole bunch of people from Rhode Island come down. I think that was, definitely top of the list right there.
yeah. Oh, man. Do you ever look if you're ever, like, feeling down, do you just pull up the highlight and just be like,
You
"I'm the
got
man?"
to.
Yeah,
You got to. You got to. And honestly, one of my my coach, my mentor, a guy that I looked up to, as I was at Brian, John Shalava, my tight ends coach over there, he was even pissed off at me because of this play, because there's rules that we have when it comes down to reaching out for the ball. So I don't know if you can kind of see it within the video
I
right
did.
there. But I'm like at the 1 yard line. I'm like, I have to score and my momentum's getting stopped. So I kind of reached the ball out over the line, and when we saw it in film that weekend, he was like, "What the hell are you doing? Like, we only reach it out at the
Yeah,
end of the second half, or the end of the second quarter, or like the end of the game when we really need it." But I'm like, "Coach, I gotta go. I gotta go get in the box. At
yeah.
the end of the day, I gotta get in the box." Something like that, you can only make so many times. So definitely had to take advantage of that.
No, I mean, you had to go for the glory. I was gonna chirp you on that. You reached the ball. I mean, that's just a no you see it every weekend now. It's crazy how much it happens.
Yep,
And the ball going out of the end zone, like, it's an insane phenomenon. At least you didn't the one where the guy's breaking free on his own and then they'll just drop the ball, that's
yeah.
I assume you just black out and
As
just
as
lose the
soon as you
ball.
cross the goal line, you don't even recognize that the ball is just coming out, and it's literally as soon as,
Yeah,
you don't have possession anymore that they kinda call that. So, yeah,
yeah.
I didn't wanna make it like that, but I wanted to make the play the play. If we're gonna go for it, we're gonna go for it all at the end of the day.
Nah, I mean, I think it was worth going for the glory right there.
Absolutely.
So, what are you thinking about your Steelers this year? Is Rodgers
I
coming back or what?
You know what? Omar Khan and the guys over there are, iffy about it. But I think we have a great, solid young core right now, and I think if Aaron Rodgers does come back, the teaching's there. I'm a huge fan of Will Howard, the guy that we have from Ohio State right now. I think
Yeah,
he has, attributes of like a Josh Allen or what the Steelers fans has been looking for, and like a Ben Roethlisberger, the guy to replace him. So Aaron Rodgers definitely brings the technical aspect, the experience, and all that good stuff. But I think the Steelers fans, me personally, we just want something to be excited about, something new. But he definitely does bring that experience. So if he comes back, I'm happy. If he doesn't, and I know, the organization has kind of set us up for the near future, so I'm not even worried.
yeah. I mean, so it's weird without. It's gonna be weird not seeing Tomlin on the sideline anymore.
Oh, oh yeah, Coach T. The Tomlinisms, man. I live by them.
Oh,
I live
the
by them.
best.
I got a couple of them written up, on my walls in my notes, around the room. So it's like I grew up on Mike Tomlin,
Yeah,
the Heinz Wars, the ABs when he was AB, the Ben Roethlisbergers, the Le'Veon Bells, that whole time period, and we never missed a playoff. So I've always been happy being a Steelers fan.
yeah, yeah. I think it was probably time for Tomlin. He did. I mean, after Ben, even the last couple years of Ben didn't really have it. He's never had a real elite quarterback, and that's I don't know. You just kind of what you need to win in the
No, and we
league.
stick to it. We stick to the Steeler way. We stick to a certain system,
Yeah,
all that good stuff. And I think Mike McCarthy, the head coach now, kind of brings it a new, fresh, kind of understanding of football, a more offensive focused kind of mind, while still having a defensive focus because he is from Pittsburgh. So he knows the culture. He knows the way the Steelers are supposed to play. So I think that was kind of a great fit for us to not, entirely reorganize ourselves, but us to kind of bring in somebody that knows the way, and kind of just take it from there.
yeah. It's probably going to be more of the same. 9, 10 wins, playoffs every
Nah,
year.
nah, 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 we're going to the Super Bowl, baby. We're going to the Super
Yeah,
Bowl, baby. We're
you're
going
gonna
to the
put.
Super Bowl.
What are the odds? You're gonna put a couple shekels down on that?
I put a future on it already.
Yeah. What did you get
I
it
put
at?
I put a future on it already through FanDuel. I think it was what 10 or 20 for it's a lot of money at this point because nobody expects the Steelers to go to the Super Bowl, but
Yeah. I mean, it. If FanDuel's good because it allows you to cash out. Not that you're ever gonna cash out your own home
never,
team's bet. No,
never.
you wouldn't do that. I can't cash out either, which is the problem. I took the Lakers. I got the Lakers at a great price, and I was like, because I'll be able to cash that out, but then I could never cash it out. I was like, LeBron's going to get one, then Luke is going to come back. then,
Yeah. Now when they met Shea and OKC, the young guys over there, I was like, it's over.
yeah,
Honestly, at this point, it's over.
I knew it was over, but I just was in denial. I was just like, that 8 grand was sitting there. I was like, man, LeBron, what if he, gets one game,
What
and then
if
if Luca could just, I can't believe he just never came back at all.
the
Just give it a
hamstring
go.
is so hard to deal with?
Yeah, it is.
I
It
think it
is.
was a hamstring. Yeah, that's so hard to
Yeah.
deal with. 'Cause you could feel good one day and then you could be in the dumpster the next, so it's like, you gotta take care of it, whatever it was. I think he was 4 weeks away after they won that 2nd round or the 1st
Yeah.
round, whatever that would look like, and he like you said, never came back, so
Yeah. Yeah, hamstrings are tough, and Hammy's always come back. He would've just got hurt right away, but
exactly.
I was hoping he did some Tatum stuff where he had, like, a miraculous recovery, even though that didn't really work for Tatum either because he
Even
had to
though he
go.
sat out game 7
Ye
and they inevitably lost to Philly, and Philly got swept, so
Yeah. No,
can't call it.
the playoffs has been interesting. I'm enjoying it quite a bit besides the Lakers getting destroyed. It's funny,
Yeah.
I'm a Celtics fan, and I always bet on the Lakers. The year they won the bubble chip, I just kept betting them because I'm like, "They're gonna fix this for LeBron." It's, like, indoor, like, nobody's there, and I mean, they were the best team, but they also got I don't know, they got every call. It was kinda how I thought it would go.
I'll be interested to see if LeBron actually comes back, to play basketball again, and then from there even come back to the Lakers. I think he's a free agent right now.
He is. He's still really good. I mean, he's a
That
top 20 guy still. I mean, probably
yeah,
higher. He's
yeah.
so good. I don't know. I think I don't know if you listen to Bill Simmons at all. He's always talking about he wants him to do like not Avengers. What is the movie with all the old like action guys who get together? Um uh
Expendables?
Expendables with the Warriors.
Expendables.
Bring
Yep.
LeBron in, Jimmy But like just have all the old guys on there. Team up KD goes back and just have like an Expendables where they try to beat all the like try to beat the Spurs and like OKC. It would be excellent, I think.
It'd be perfect. It'd be perfect for
Yeah.
the market. You guys see
Mhm.
what team they all want to land on. It would probably be something like a big market team like LA or Miami, something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, well, Miami's in an interesting spot. I mean, I don't know. So who do you like in basketball if Pittsburgh's your
Um,
team?
You know what? You know what? I can't land on it. I'm in Boston now, so I will say, I advocate for the Celtics, and I go hard for. Now I don't go hard for the Celtics, but I try to support the Celtics each and every way. But growing up, I was always a D Wade fan. Um, Wherever D Wade went, even when he was, in the tail end of his career, and he was with the Bulls, and he was with Cleveland and all that, I followed D Wade everywhere he went. Um,
Yeah.
so definitely a through and through D Wade fan, but after that, I would probably say Kawhi Leonard was probably my guy. So we'll see where he lands. I was supporting the Clippers for a long time, and then they just sucked for a minute. So I really wasn't watching them, but no, still a huge Kawhi fan. I think he just plays the game right. I think he respects the game
Yeah.
from a defense perspective, from offense, pulling from the mid range and getting to his spots. I think Kawhi Leonard is still top 10 if you will, player in the NBA.
Him healthy is incredible. Yeah, I'd
It's
like to see
insane.
him
You
get
can't beat him.
yeah, I'd like to see him get another shot at the ring. I love D Wade. I had his jersey growing up, and then he tried to break Rondo's arm in that playoff game. Pretty scumbag like. So I haven't. That was it
Dog.
for me. Yeah,
Dog.
that is some dog behavior. I'll give him that. All right, I'll let you get out of here. Who's your all-time favorite Steeler? Is it Hines?
Ooh. Ooh, that's a hard one. That's a hard one. For a long time, I had a Mike Wallace jersey.
Oh, I love
Um,
Wallace.
yeah, I love Wallace, but honestly, I can't put a single player on it. Honestly, you know what? Just for like personality wise, just for the drive and who I still look at today, Debo, James Harrison. James
Yeah,
Harrison. I got caught in the bandwagon because I will be honest, my dad's a Cowboys fan, which is it's horrible, it's terrible.
he's one of
But when
those.
James Harrison played against Arizona, he had that 90, 100-yard touchdown, whatever it was. And I just saw his career, before that and after that. He played with a certain intensity that I always wanted to kind of emulate. He was running over people. He was talking his talk. And
Yeah,
he played the game to the beat of his own drum. So definitely Debo was one of those guys up there that I definitely wanted to always see. As well as Hines Ward. Um, and all those guys over there, definitely Big Ben when he was at his height.
yeah.
So that general, timeline of Steelers players were definitely my guys and definitely people that I kind of always looked up to.
Yeah. Well, Harrison didn't get going till he was like 35, right? In the league?
Well, no, he got going. James Harrison was always a force to be reckoned with, and he was definitely, somebody that people never looked after. I think
Yeah.
James Harrison went undrafted. If I'm
Maybe
right
that's
now,
what I'm thinking of. Yeah.
he went
Yeah, he was kinda
undrafted, but he was still
unheralded.
always a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah. Well, maybe you switch back to DN, buddy, and go back at it, and that's your
See, I
trajectory.
throw on the knee brace, but I throw on the knee brace. You don't gotta tell me twice.
Yeah, there you go. So, I appreciate you doing this, man. It was a fun interview. We'll drop it this week, and, yeah, it was great talking, great catching up.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate you for, allowing me to kind of, get on your platform, kind of talk a little bit. It was great to see you again. Like you said before, it's been a couple of months since we kind of connected and been in the same room with each other. So
Yeah.
definitely, appreciate you having me on. If there's ever an instance where, we could repeat this, kind of do it again, please, please, please reach out to me and we'll do it again and kind of, go back and forth for some other topics.
I think we could do sports all day, so,
Come on
uh
now.
there whatever if stuff comes up, maybe some Steeler if we need Steelers content, you're my guy now, so
When the Steelers make the Super Bowl, please invite me out.
you will be on. If the Steelers make the Super Bowl, we'll maybe sweat out your future live on air. That could be
Come on.
we could Twitch it or something.
We'll just wait for the bet to hit at the end of the day.
Yeah, yeah, and, we'll have you on after a couple, celebratory sodas, and you
Yes,
can do
sir.
it on the show.
Yes, sir.